What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrensky here, and I'm back with a quick talking head video covering the most recent Diablo 2 Resurrected Technical Alpha Learning blog post. So this is pretty exciting. It's basically broken down into 3 segments here: arts and visuals, quality of life, and miscellaneous updates, and then a little kind of ending tying on what we're going to expect in the future for D2R. So just a quick talking head video going over a lot of the changes and improvements that they made. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video because there's a lot of really juicy stuff in this blog post. Blizzard is definitely listening to the feedback from content creators and then people who played during alpha and then just general people from the community. So let me know in the comment section below at the end of this video if there's kind of things that you would like to see done further, because I guarantee you that a lot of the community members will probably be watching this video and others, so it's probably your last chance to provide some quality feedback for the actual launch of D2R. So starting off with the graphics update, we get a little bit of kind of a sneak peek of some changes that were made to certain specific skills, just basically their animations. And the first is the lighting skill for the sorceress. Now they don't actually provide an example here, but they do say that it was made white and kind of like thicker or more juiced up. Now for those that are very observant, I didn't actually catch it. I got a little bit of a tip from the Diablo, the dev team or the community team. They told me that there was a little bit of a sneak peek of the new changes to lighting that were shown during the Rod Ferguson Xbox Diablo 2 Resurrected interview. And you had to be really kind of observant to see it, but you can see that the lightning is a lot thicker and more straight white compared to sort of the bluish hue that it was before. So that's cool that that feedback was taken into consideration. And the second little section here is, of course, Blizzard. This was the #1 issue, or the biggest skill issue that I had from alpha testing. So you can see the changes from starting off here, classic to the alpha testing. The particles were coming down straight, and they were too small in my opinion. So now they're coming down an angle and they're a lot more like thicker and juiced up. So it's really cool that that feedback was taken in consideration, because like the meteor skill tree looked amazing. Lightning I was somewhat iffy on, but I do think it's been improved now that it doesn't really have that blue hue. But Blizzard was the #1 kind of questionable skill for me, which is interesting because based on feedback that I got from the comment section of my videos, it was split. Some people like the new Blizzard and some people hate it. It was almost like a 50-50 split, but I think that the new animation looks perfect and I don't think I would change it in any way, to be honest. In addition to those visual updates, they did update the look of Holy Freeze, and they changed it so that it now constantly freezes enemies in proximity. I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually remember what the issue was with Holy Freeze and slowing down monsters from the alpha, but I wasn't a huge fan of the way that it looked. It looked like kind of Dural was kind of floating under like a puffy cloud. So it's cool that they changed that. And then they did update the look of monsters when they are frozen. This was the very first visual animation that I had an issue with playing the technical alpha. It was like a turquoise color. I think that this blue is definitely a better representation of the original. So again, more quality visual update changes. And then in addition to that, they did have a little blurb here talking about how they sped up the animations to better align with like healing your health globes or your mana globes when you use a full rejuvenation potion. I'm not actually sure if it was an animation issue going from 25 FPS in the original to having a rendered frame rate, or if it actually was a fundamental change, but that's cool that it now more aligns with the original. Next up, we have some updates on some icons that were changed from alpha testing. Now, I'm going to be entirely honest, out of all the changes and feedback that I had from the original alpha, the look of potions, the look of TP scrolls, the look of specific items on characters, the look of like gems, the progression of them changing, skulls, I can see why there was some community feedback or criticism, but out of all of the like potential things, this was the thing that bothered me the very least. But the fact that they addressed it to try and appeal to the broader community, I think just really shows that the team is actually listening to valuable feedback or taking it into consideration and considering all feedback valuable. So it really is good to see, although it is like the most minor thing for me personally. Like just looking at this, for example, I didn't think that the alpha was bad, but it, I guess, does look in some ways improved. Like the charm looks pretty similar to me. The bow, you can see a little bit of a difference. And then I will admit that the Paladin shield looks a little bit better. Again, a lot of this stuff is like very personal preference, taste driven. Like a lot of people hate how the Amazon looks a lot more grizzled than what the community thinks she should look like. I personally don't care about stuff like that. I would rather that the game feels like, you know, you're throwing lightning furies and the lightning fury animation looks cool. I'm more concerned with that sort of stuff than like what she actually looks like, her face and the character selection screen. But again, let me know in the comment section below if you guys like completely disagree or whatever. It's totally fine. So the next big segment here is quality of life changes, and the very first thing that draws my eyes is this updated user interface here, where you can on the fly change things and customize it how you want to, like showing life or numeric values on the life globe or the mana globe. That is one thing that I can't tell you how many times people have asked me how to enable or disable, because it's not very intuitive to know to click on the bottom half of the globe in original D2 to have that numeric value turn on or off. So this is just cool, like a more user-friendly experience for D2R, so I'm all for that. The next huge thing though is shared stash updates. We now get 3 personal tabs per character and a shared stash. I think personally, in my humble opinion, it strikes the best balance between not having like unlimited stash, kind of too much, I guess you would say, like pluggy, but enough to enhance the leveling and playthrough experience, in my personal opinion. So you can imagine each character, you could have a page dedicated to mid and high value runes. You could have a page for like crafting caster amulets, and have miscellaneous page that just anything you pick up that you think might be valuable. And then later you can transfer it to you know, your shared stash to other characters. It's just going to make the experience so much more user-friendly on BNet. So I think it's the personal balance, or excuse me, I think it's the perfect personal balance. I'm a little bit tired. I'm coming off of night shift here, so bear with me, guys. But again, let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree or disagree with 3 tabs, but I do think that is huge. Like, a lot of people play pluggy on single player to avoid the headache of muling and all that stuff on original Battle.net. 3 personal tabs and a shared stash, I think, is amazing. And the last little kind of key point here in the quality of life segment is improvements to the map. So for those that remember from the alpha testing, one of my big criticisms was I thought that the overlay of the map, it wasn't good. It was very difficult to kind of like locate, you know, doors to go down the next level. Actual like wall borders, I think, were harder to distinguish compared to the originals. So they basically said that they've implemented new assets to improve the readability of the automap, so that's really cool. So I found like when I was adjusting the fader on alpha that it was like either it was all on or all off. It was hard to kind of get like a good balance between the two. So that's cool to see. Again, we'll get to test it in the next round and, you know, provide some more feedback. The last little section here is the miscellaneous updates. So they did add a clock, so you can time your runs better, basically. This is something that will really appeal to the single player crowd. I don't know how much it's going to appeal to people that play on Battle.net. Maybe it will, because that whole like run optimization thing, it really is like a static map single player thing, but this is a cool feature that they added. They did mention that they improved some character vulnerability with loading times. This is something that I personally didn't have a problem with during the alpha, but I had a M2 solid state, so like the load times were pretty solid. I think others that just installed on a regular hard drive had some issues, but it's cool to see some performance updates there. And the last little thing here is that they did add some community feedback, removing some extra grunts and stuff. One of them that I remember was very excessive was the kind of firework of monsters taking damage from poison javelin with the Amazon. So that's cool that some of that stuff was taken into consideration for feedback. One of the biggest kind of like underlying like overlooked things, I think, is the remastered audio. It is much more immersive than the original. So the fact that I just think it's overlooked in general. So that the fact that they're making improvements to that is very good. And then wrapping up the blog post, there's a blurb here talking about the next round of testing. That's going to be multiplayer. We're going to have 5 classes instead of 3, up to 8 players. I'm pretty sure it's going to be still restricted to Act 1 and Act 2, but we'll get to sort of crash test the servers, so that is pretty exciting. I will definitely be streaming it on Twitch. Got the link for my Twitch channel in the description below, guys. Twitch/Dabrensky125 if you guys want to hang out and catch some of that live action. But I just want to give a huge shout out and thanks to everyone from the community who has participated in providing feedback on my channel, which has probably been taken into consideration for D2R testing. As a community, I think everybody's coming together and we're going to make this game the best that possibly can. And the dev team, they deserve a huge shout out as well. But overall, I am just really excited for Diablo 2 Resurrected. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this blog post, if you like this style of video, if there's additional feedback that you want to see. Just, you know, let's try and engage with a really cool discussion in the comment section below, which will hopefully lead to some more positive changes for D2R. But that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you could throw a like on it, share it, and even consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I post new weekly content on YouTube. I do stream twice a week on Twitch. So any follows on Twitch or subs on YouTube would be amazing. Other than that, guys, hope you have a fan-frickin-tastic day, and I'll catch you on my next video or live stream. Peace out.